Holly Berry or Hallelujah.
Oh, hello friend, and welcome to Interesting Indie Investigation, the series where I go through a list of duper. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, list of super niche, unpopular games that have been accumulating on my phone in an attempt to finally delete the note and come with an array of new and exciting indie game experiences. Sorry, it's been so long, I've kind of forgot what I was doing here. I know you've all been eagerly awaiting my return to indie investigation. So anyways, next up on the list is Donut County, a cute little game about manipulating a magical hole to destroy everything in sight. Every aspect of this game is beautifully simplistic. The art style is made up of solid colors and simple shapes, the music is soothing and unintrusive, and the controls only consist of moving the mouse cursor, which means even you can handle it. It's a very relaxing game overall, since you can never actually fail, which that's how my classes were going right now. It has light puzzle elements, but for the most part, all you have to do is work your way up the food chain, eating bigger and bigger things. It's really fun seeing the camera zoom out as you progress, from eating small rocks and books to devouring entire buildings, giving each level a really satisfying sense of pace. The game consistently showcases interesting ideas in each level, keeping gameplay fresh and ramping up the stakes by introducing small tasks such as cooking soup or lighting fireworks, without getting so complicated that it would disrupt the zen-like flow of it all. A story seems unnecessary in a game about a giant hole consuming everything, but the narrative is surprisingly captivating. It's told from within the hole itself, 900 feet below Donut County, and is mostly made up of flashbacks to how the destruction of the town unfolded. Despite the ludicrous premise, the character dynamics and humor are charming enough to carry it. There are some pretty wholesome moments between Mira and PK, and even some character development. The game doesn't really make sense or explain anything that's happening, but the storytelling did a great job of keeping me invested despite its absurdity. Overall, I would highly recommend Donut County. It's a perfect game to spend an evening relaxing with. Although, of course, I couldn't leave it at that, because Donut County got me thinking about the nature of relaxing games, and my ability to make them tedious and aggravating. Recently, I was playing Diablo 3 with a friend, although at this point, that was almost a year ago since I wrote this, and we were having a decent amount of fun, but when we both died, instead of the game sending us back to the last checkpoint, we respawned with no punishment. It was like we were both white men in a vault with Jeffrey Epstein. This completely destroyed my enjoyment of the game because now, instead of playing carefully and getting tense when I was close to death, I carelessly smashed my way through enemies, not worrying about getting hit at all. Hell, dying even became a strategy since I could heal fully for free when I respawned, instead of having to waste precious healing potions. I felt bad, but even though I would have had more fun if I tried as hard as I did before, I couldn't bring myself to do it, knowing that there were no stakes. It was like a gamified existential crisis. Donut County is similar to Diablo 3 in that it has no fail state, but I still had fun frantically collecting items into my ever-expanding hole. Why? In his video, How Game Designers Protect Players from Themselves, Mark Brown says that many players will simply gravitate towards strategies that will most likely lead to success, regardless of how enjoyable those strategies might actually be. In Diablo, for example, the easiest strategy was to mindlessly spam buttons with no regard for the enemy's attacks whatsoever, so that's what I did. Whereas, even though Donut County has no fail state either, its hole takes a moment to absorb objects, meaning that you have to deliberately choose what to suck in, like preparing to try on those pants at Forever 21 that weren't in your size. While Diablo 3, you can spam attacks anywhere without avoiding enemy attacks at all and still eventually win encounters, making the game lack any sense of stakes or urgency. To solve this issue, Mark Brown said that games could either encourage or discourage the behavior they want to see from the player. In Diablo 3's case, they could have me sent back to the last checkpoint as a punishment for dying, for example, to motivate me to focus on actually avoiding enemy attacks. As it is now, there's no reason to put in the effort to be better at the game's combat when there is no reward for being good, and no penalty for being bad. Another example of this would be Fallout 4, which I was just talking to a friend about recently, but like recently as in of me revisiting this script recently, not recently as in like almost a year ago. And she said that she liked the ability to quick save endlessly and pause to heal because to her, getting better at the game's combat didn't matter. She was more interested in the exploration and the looting, and having the freedom to save or heal whenever she wanted allowed her to focus on more of those aspects of the game that she enjoyed. The same logic could also apply to Diablo 3, which is certainly more about the loot than the combat, but for a person like me, I need the combat to be difficult in some way for me to care about getting better loot. Otherwise, what's the point? In their combat specifically, even though Diablo 3 and Fallout 4 are not necessarily meant to be relaxing games, they are designed to encourage that same zen-like flow that Donut County was able to successfully achieve for me. Diablo 3 and Fallout 4 fail for me where Donut County succeeds because, like Leonardo Sicci said in his video How to Make a Relaxing Game, a relaxing game needs to have systems and mechanics in place that require the input of the user to be engaged. The reason we play games is to be engaged, whether it's through stories, mechanics, ideas, whatever. If we want to relax and do nothing, then we could just watch Netflix, which is fine, but we're talking about games, and on a base level, the player needs something to do. In Diablo 3, I failed to be engaged because I was able to mindlessly attack and still win, and Fallout 4, I had trouble engaging because I could always quick save or pause to heal, whereas in Donut County, I had to purposely choose my targets since sporadically grazing over objects did not consume them. By having objects take a moment to get sucked into your hole in Donut County, the game forces you to think about what you want to consume next. This simple restriction makes a huge difference in forcing you to pay attention and care about your actions without forcing you to be super fast and accurate. In its own way, grazing over objects and not consuming them is its own mini-fail state. Even though Donut County was more laid back than Fallout 4 or Diablo 3, I felt more engaged because the game actually had expectations of me. In other words, Donut County actually gives you something to do. It also depends on the mood you're in, though. When I pull up a game like Donut County, I'm in a completely different mood than I would be if I wanted to play Fallout 4 or Diablo 3. When playing Donut County, I'm expecting a laid-back, short-term experience, while when I load up Fallout or Diablo, I'm looking to be immersed or challenged. It's hard to say because they really are completely different games, and I just witnessed my dog successfully open the door with her head. That was one of the cutest things I've ever seen. It really just comes down to what aspects of a game you value more, I suppose. So maybe instead of saying Diablo 3 and Fallout 4 failed to engage me, I could say that they simply are not my type of game. Wow, what an argument. Okay, well, I guess I'll see you guys in the next year when I finally make another one of these.